Hello, this is Jessica, and I am here with Hack Mankind. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Hack Mankind's Business Talks with our founder, Peter Swain. Peter is a digital strategist that helps companies and individuals harness the power of technology. He was one of the first web developers in Europe and has successfully run and exited 3 agencies across the web and digital marketing industry. Today, we'll be diving deep into the different types of business models and how they can be used to revive company fortunes. Thanks so much for being here, Peter. How are you? Let's start and jump right into it.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Yeah, it's been a wild ride over these years. So I've been in web, digital, mobile for 25 years professionally now. And I stopped counting when I got to 900 and something projects. So I've done about 1,000 projects today. And in that time, I've been super blessed. I've been able to work with hundreds of different industries, hundreds of different people, hundreds of different business models. And the breadth of the business model surprised me because I found out recently, actually, in a talk, that there are over 27 different types of business model. 27. Now that means that most people are probably missing 26 because we get very locked in to a modality of operation, right? We get very locked into the thought that I produce a widget, I market a widget, I sell a widget, or I produce some content, I do a subscription to that content and people subscribe. So whatever it is, people get locked in these lanes. Now, we all know this example of lemons on the lemonade stand. So I'm going to use that as my example. So let's pretend for a second that you and I both have a lemonade stand. So my lemonade stand, we're about a block away from each other. So my lemonade stand, I'm obviously taking my lemons and I'm producing lemonade in my kitchen, and I go out to my front yard and I put a sign up that says 50 cents for a glass of lemonade. Okay, so you will probably be doing roughly the same thing. You'll probably be creating your lemonade in your kitchen, you'll be putting some kind of sign up, maybe you've got a fancier sign than me, and you'll also be selling lemonade. Now, you probably can't sell yours for $1, $2, $3, $4. So you're probably going to have about the same price point I am, because if you don't have the same price point as me, then if I'm cheaper, then I'm going to get more business. So we're probably both going to be around the 50 cent. Let's say I'm 50 cents and you're 55. And you're 55 because you use a better class of lemons. Okay. I'm just trying to paint a picture for everyone before we get into it. So the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to start producing some flyers, right? So that's a form of innovation. So I'm going to go and produce some flyers, and I'm going to put those out through the doors of my local people. And you're going to see that and go, that's a great idea. I should do some flyers too. So you're going to then go and do some flyers. So now we're both doing flyers. And I'm going to see that you do flyers, but it didn't take you long to respond, right? You just went to your home, went to your printer, print out some flyers, put through the door. So then I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to now employ my younger brother, and I'm going to get him to stand in the road, on the side of the road, obviously, for health and safety, and I'm going to get him to point people and say, hey, you know, we've got some great lemonade here. And as a reaction, you're going to do the same. You're going to go to your little sister and go, oi, get out there. Tell people we got great lemonade. So now we're both doing that as well. And I'll do a third example. I'm then going to buy organic lemons. And I'm going to sell them at 85 cents for a glass instead of 50 cents. You're going to go, wow, that's a great idea. I'll do the same as well. So what's happening is our businesses are doing this very, very, very slow, quickly in this case. We're increasing our level of capability. And eventually we'll reach a point of 100% efficiency. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, every resource that we have at our disposal is utilized fully and efficiently. Now, efficiently is important. So when I did those flyers, what I'd have seen quite quickly is if I do them on that street, and that street, I get people coming in. And if I do them on that street, that street, it's not so effective. And I'll also see that if I do them on sunny days, I do them about midday, that they're more effective than if I don't. So what's going to happen is I'm going to start printing flyers only for those streets, and you're going to do the same. So we're going to carry on increasing our capabilities on one hand, and we're going to carry on through evaluation, experimentation, through learning. We're going to take our efficiency of each thing as well. And eventually, what will happen is we're both running exactly the same business. And you see this all over the place. You see it with car companies, shoe companies, you see people trying their best to differentiate their product. But in truth, there is very little difference between your standard family Ford and your standard family Nissan. Right? And that's something that jars people to begin with. There's very little difference between those two. What do I mean by that again? I mean, they both have a 5-star health and safety rating. They both have the same rough cost. They both have 4 seats. They both have 4 tires. They both have an engine. They both have a carburetor. They both have a transmission. Everything about those cars is actually relatively the same if you think about it. Yes, they have a slightly different label on them. One might have 2 cup holders and one might have 1. But the products aimed at the same audience will end up being roughly the same. We'll talk in another time as to how you then differentiate between those. But then what happens is somebody comes along and does something completely different. So let's take a good example, right? We often talk about this as an example of Blockbuster and Netflix debate. So Blockbuster was not the only home video store. There were multiple home video stores, and they all did exactly the same thing in exactly the same way. You go to the video store, you browse through the shelves, you maybe talk to a friend, you choose your video, go to the counter, and they'll charge you based on the popularity of the video. They'll charge you this many dollars for one night, this many dollars for 2 nights, this many dollars for 3 nights, and they will charge you a late fee, and they'll try and sell you some popcorn, right? But they'll all do exactly the same thing. And then somebody will come around and go, I don't need to do it that way. I can innovate. Now, most innovation that you're accustomed to is the technologies, the platform of delivery. But there's another form of innovation which you can access a lot quicker, and that's the underlying business model. And that's what Netflix did. Netflix did 2 things at the same time. Netflix innovated the platform of delivery. But what I want you to focus on is they also implemented the business model behind it. Similar people have done similar things in the past, and you'll know them off the top of your head. Apple did it. iTunes was the perfect example. No longer will you pay per CD, you'll now pay for a track. And then Apple Music comes around and it does it to itself. It innovates again and changes the business model again to a subscription model. So going back to our lemonade stand example, what would happen then if I turned around and said to my customers, unlimited lemonade for only $2 a month? Now, I'm willing to bet I'd get some sign-ups for that. Now, I might lose some money. I might gain some money. That's a different story. But what I would do is I'd lock in my customers. They'd no longer even consider coming to you. So I've now changed the model totally. But for you to catch up on that in a commercial environment, in our lemonade stand, it's very, very simple because you can just change it as well. But in big companies, in large companies, and in established markets, it's very, very hard to reverse those things back out. So you get yourself clear air, right? Clear air. You get to breathe for about 2 months, depending on the size of the industry, depending on where you are, where literally you don't have competition anymore. Right? You're no longer selling a slice of pizza for $2 and they're selling it for $2.50. You're now selling a piece of subscription service for $20 a month. And you get a whole different perspective. You get to grab market share from your competitors' lemonade stand, from your lemonade stand. I'm now going to your customers going, hey, why are you still paying 89 cents for a lemonade? That's crazy. Come over here with just the same product, it's the same organic lemon, so you can subscribe for $2 for an entire month. Right? And whatever industry you're in, these kind of innovations of business model can apply to you. And wherever you are, I promise you're probably locked into one way of doing it. And there are 27 different models. There are subscription models, there are pay up front models, there's finance models, there's lease models, there's free trials and then pay extra. There's hundreds of different ways to price something. And as soon as you realize that, you can start innovating at a scale and pace that your competition are going to be wondering what's going on. And this will apply to everybody going forwards. If you think that you're going to continue paying for your car, you're incorrect. It doesn't work that way. As the innovation increases, someone's going to come out with an advanced version of a lease. Right? There are already insurance agencies in the UK and Europe that allow you to insure yourself by the mile. There are people that are dropping the cost of insurance by how safe your driving is, by recording it on an app. And that's, again, what's called a recombinant innovation, or recombinant innovation, where you take two ideas and you put them together, i.e. the app and the price model, but the premise still stands. So if you're looking at your business right now and you're having problems or you're struggling with cash flow, you know, this has been a very unique time for us all. That's where I'd say you should be looking. You should be looking at, okay, is my business model efficient, or am I doing it because I've always done it? Is there some other way I can approach this market? So remember that you don't have to do business the way you have always done it, number one. Number two, remember that there is 27 different ways. If you want to read more on this, I strongly recommend the work of Jay Abraham. He looks into this a lot. And way number three, point three, is remember that by doing this, you gain a huge advantage for a few month period. You need to use that 3 month period, or 2-3 months, to really hammer it in, right? To go and grab market share from other people. And this literally does apply whether you're a software as a service, whether you're an IT company, whether you're a consultancy company. You know, consultants are great, coaches are great at this. Coaches are so used to charging for the hour, but never really think to charge by the result. Why not? Why can't you charge by the result? Why can't you lay efficient groundwork with the client and say, how about you pay me this much when you achieve this, this, and this? Now, if you're not a good enough coach, then maybe you shouldn't do that. But assuming you have the skills and traits and capabilities, it's another option. It's a lot more compelling to me. If someone says, hey, I can help you on your accounts, and I can save you 15% tax. If I save you 15% tax, what I want is 3% of your turnover. You're like, done. That's fine. I'm happy with that. You're going to save me 15%. You want 3%? I'm happy with that. And you'll know those people when you see them. They just come up totally left field with a very different idea. And if that idea lands and it works for people, the most interesting thing you'll see is the entire industry changes overnight. That's what happens with successful innovation. Right? Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify is now the de facto norm. Right? Netflix is now the de facto norm. And you'll see this across the board. You'll see a whole bunch of people doing things in exactly the same way. One person goes, we can do this differently. And if they marry the business model to the method of delivery, two forms of innovation, then what you'll find is that they will accelerate exponentially, not just logarithmically. They will literally go into a whole different category of business, and then others will be playing catch up. But they will always be the person that did it first. They'll always have that cachet. And the most successful businesses innovate in this way on a continual basis. They will kill their own business models. Apple Arcade, Apple TV, Apple Music, literally innovating and killing their own business model because everybody caught up. Everybody did that. So everybody's now got a subscription music, pay for download music service in iTunes. So Apple go, okay, we'll do it differently again. I'm not saying they were first, but it's a very good example for you to bear in mind. So, end point, end takeaway for me, just remember, there is always more than one way to turn lemons into lemonade. Thank you so much, everybody.
Amazing, Peter. Thank you so much. That was so powerful. And thank you so much for tuning in today. And every week we will have Peter coming in. So thank you so much for tuning in to Hack Mankind's Business Talks, where you come and we come together to learn practical tips and strategies that you can apply to your business right away, right now. So I look forward to our next call and say bye for now. Take care, everybody.